Hi guys, this is Gus69 from Metal Open Mind Brazil. Today with contest entry for Gary at Physical Format Rock and Roll channel. Very cool guy that I just discovered. I saw a response to his contest and I checked some of his videos and I subscribed him right away. You should check out too. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. He does a lot of videos discussing albums that are overlooked. Some episodes he has special guests like his own sons, which is a very cool thing to watch. So for this contest he wants us to show three albums with female fronted bands or all female bands. Only three, and the prize for this contest is a very cool one. It's a Runaway live album. I think it's a Record Store Day release, special release. It's a live in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Very cool to have that album, sealed copy. So I went through my collection and I found 10 female bands. I have many female artists or bands that have some musicians that are women, but I decided to pick to show to you what I have, what I got, all female bands. So the first one, I have my notes here. I will talk a little bit about each one, but I will show from the earliest bands to the newer ones, okay? So the first one is a British band. They were formed in '77. It's the oldest band that I'm be showing here. They took important place in the new wave of British heavy metal. I remember talking about these bands, but I never bought anything by these bands. It was a trio, three girls. Two of them are sisters, and I'm talking about Rock Goddess. This album is called This Time, and it's a new release from 2019. Very cool comeback album by Rock Goddess. They were active like a decade until '87. Then they reformed in '94, but only for a year. And now, from 2013 to this day, they are alive again. So the sisters and a new bass player, the new member, but they are heavier than they used to be, because I do have a few of their albums on digital, but this was the first one that I could buy, and I recommend. Very cool. This Time by Rock Goddess, British band. Next, a band formed in '78. This was the first all-female band that I get to listen. I remember having their three first studio albums. They are for me essential, but unfortunately I don't have them anymore. And the only album that I have from them, it's this one. I'm talking about Girl School, another British band discovered by Lenny from Motorhead. This is the 10th studio album. It's called Believe, and if you never see this album cover, that's because it's alternate cover art for the Brazilian release in vinyl. So this was released originally in 2004, and that's it. Girls School, I love them. Rock and roll. They are still going. I know that they had a few changes in the lineup. One of the former members died, but they are still good. Rock and roll bands, all female, Girls School. Next, so the first two that I showed are from London, United Kingdom. Now from America, United States, from the 80s. They were formed in the 80s and they were active until 92. Then they broke up. They came back in 97 for a year, and since 2001 they are still active. I'm talking about Vixen. Sorry, this is their first album, the debut, self-titled. I used to have these on vinyl, but nowadays I only have on cassette. Glam rock, glam hard rock, but good stuff. Vixen, they are from Minnesota, United States, and this album is from '88. So they took a few years, 80 years, to release their first album. Okay, next. Now in the 90s, actually they were formed in '85, but they are still active. I'm talking about L7. This album is called Bricks Are Heavy. It's from '92. They were active from '85 to 2001, and then they reformed in 2014, and they are still active. They came to Brazil to play live, but I couldn't go. So cool bands, alternative rock, a little bit of grunge, but good stuff. L7. By the way, this is the third studio album by them. Next band called Drain. They add Stockholm, STH to differentiate. I think there was another band with the same name, Drain. Swedish alternative metal bands. They remind me a little bit of Alice in Chains, for instance. Those kind of heavier but also melancholic songs. And this album was released in '96. It's called Horror Wrestling. It's their first album, studio album, and the singer, I don't know which one is the singer. I think it's this one. It's Tonayomi wife. So Drain, another all-female front bands. Next, from the 90s, we have the Dontus. They are not active anymore, but they were formed in '93 and active until 2012. They are from California, and this album is from 2001, and it's called Turn 21. It's the fourth studio album by these glam punk rock bands, rock and roll bands. They do a Judas Priest cover here, Living After Midnight. Good stuff, rock and roll, nothing special but good stuff. The Dontus. Next, I think it's the one of the heaviest. I think there are one here to the end. It's the heaviest of all, but this is kind of heavy, hard and heavy. Crucified Barbara, again, another band from Sweden, all female bands. And this is their third studio album, Midnight Chase. It's from 2012, and they are not active anymore. They were active from 98 to 2016. Good stuff, hard and heavy. As well, this one, Meldrum, another heavy band, trio. Actually, they had a guest drummer for gigs, but the main band were those three girls. Meldrum. Meldrum is the name of the guitar player, Michelle Meldrum, who used to be on Phantom Blue, another great heavy band, all female band. I bought last year. I bought one their first album on vinyl, but it came up. Was a problem with the vinyl, and I had to return. It came warped, so I don't have any Phantom Blue to show, but I have Meldrum. Good bands, short-lived, from 10 years, 99 to 2009. This is their second studio album, Blowing Up the Machine. And Michelle Meldrum, as I said, she was John Noron's wife. John Noron, a guitar player from the Swedish band Europe. And there is a song here that Lemmy himself sings, Miss Me When I'm Gone. And it's funny because Michelle died in 2008. She had a problem and she was like brain dead. So rest in peace, Michelle Meldrum. Good band. The last two. Now a band from Estonia, Europe, East Europe. Vanilla Ninja. This band is, I think, is the weakest from all those that I'm showing. They are not active anymore. They were active from 2002 to 2008. This album was their fourth studio album and was released in 2006. And in the beginning, they used to sing in Estonian and English, but on this one, it's all English singing. And there is a curious fact about this band that they took part as the Eurovision Festival, but not representing Estonia, but representing Switzerland. Don't ask me why, I don't know. That helped them. They didn't win the festival. I think they end up in the 8th place. But anyway, Vanilla Ninja. If you like a more commercial, very well produced, but the songs are kind of weak for my taste. But anyway, Vanilla Ninja. And last but not least, a band from Brazil, a band that they were formed in 2010, and on these past 10 years they have released 4 studio albums, and this is the second, Agony by Nervosa, a thrash metal band from Brazil. Very good bands. They just released a new album, but with a new lineup. Only this Brica, the guitar player, are still in the band. The other 2 left the band, so they are now a quartet, and they just released a new album. I don't have it yet, but it's very good, and they are signed to Napalm Records, so you are gonna probably hear a lot about this band Nervosa. So I just showed 10 all-female bands from my collection. I hope you liked. Gary, thank you for doing this contest. It was a pleasure to participate in, and I will check more of your videos, and I hope you get more subscribers. I didn't tell in the beginning of this video, but this is his 300 subscribers contest, but I think you are almost on 400, so congratulations, you are doing very good, and that's it. I hope to have more female bands in rock and metal, because women can rock like a man. Thank you.
You must take a chance, or you